Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you what's in my wardrobe and then also answer some of your questions around how to build the perfect, timeless wardrobe. I don't know if the perfect wardrobe really exists, but I do think we're able to build a wardrobe we're really happy with and one where we're able to create a lot of looks that we love and that suit our personal style. That's what we're talking about in today's video. So I asked over on Instagram, what are some of your wardrobe questions you'd like me to answer? I've grouped it all together, and as I answer these questions, I'm going to be showing you what's in my wardrobe. Jumping straight in, the most asked question was definitely around organization and storage. Everything is grouped by category, and then within each category, I've got it roughly grouped by color. I want to share with you a quick overview of my wardrobe just so everything makes a bit more sense. We've got a total of 3 wardrobes in my bedroom, and then the one on the furthest right is my partner's, and then I have 2 wardrobe spaces. On the left wardrobe, I keep all of my tops, my jackets, and my coats. And then on the right hand side wardrobe, I keep all of my dresses, my skirts, as well as my trousers. All of my knitwear currently fits into 2 drawers. On the left hand side drawer, I have all of my basic knitwear pieces that I use for layering or just everyday wear. And then on the right hand side, I have my chunkier knits, as well as the knitwear pieces that I don't reach for as often. The 4 drawers on the right hand side wardrobe are currently all empty, and I feel like eventually my knitwear is probably going to overflow into those drawers as well. The reason why I group my clothes by category and color is not just because it looks pretty. It does, but it's also for functional reasons. If you're like me and just drawn to the same kind of clothing pieces, I find doing it this way, it just allows me to see very clearly what I own. But I also feel like hanging my clothes this way allows me to fully understand my personal style. So for example, I'm very drawn to feminine pieces, and you kind of see that through my white blouses. I've got quite a few blouses that look like this. Very feminine, very dainty, and it just represents the feminine side of my style. The same thing goes with my blazers, where I've got quite a few blazers, and that represents the more modern side of my style. By hanging things up this way, I think it's more obvious what you gravitate towards, and therefore what your personal style is. The next question is the cheapest and most expensive pieces, and the pieces you love the most. So the pieces I love the most in my wardrobe. So I feel like the cheapest thing is kind of obvious. It's just like a white t-shirt, which I have folded away, but I'm going to do this cost per wear wise, which is also not going to be a surprise. Cost per wear wise, I feel like the cheapest item is definitely this mango coat, because after so many years of having it, I think it's probably my 5th year of having it, it is still looking really great. And more importantly, I still reach for it constantly. Right now, this is my most worn coat for winter. And I really like that because after 5 years, the fact that I still wear it as my daily coat, I think says a lot about how much I like this piece. If we're talking about the most expensive item in my wardrobe, it's definitely outerwear from Tibi. I buy most of my Tibi outerwear in the sales, but even then, it's definitely still a splurge. This is a coat I recently got from them, and it's 100% cashmere. This is the print up close. I am obsessed with this print and this blue navy color, but I also just really like the long line shape, and then the cashmere material is obviously gorgeous. Another splurge piece is definitely this Tibi oversized blazer, and this is in a navy color. An oversized navy blazer I think is a fairly dupable piece, but because I watched the Tibi live sessions, I feel like I learned so much from the brand, and I just wanted to support the brand by getting a piece. This was one of my first purchases from the brand, and honestly, I don't really regret it just because of how often I wear it. You can definitely find dupes of this at Arcade, Uniqlo. There are honestly some very similar options out there. The last part of this question is asking for my favorite pieces. Something that's been a real favorite lately is this fabric from Cedar. I have it in the top, I have it in the blazer, and then most recently I also purchased the pants. I just received these, so I haven't even tried it on yet, but I've had these in my wardrobe for a while now, and there is something about this fabric that I just really love. It's not just the fact that this is a light yellow color and I find it very pretty, but it's also got a little bit of a linen kind of texture to it. Even though there is only something like 8% linen in this, it still has the texture. I also like that the weight and the drape of it is really, really flattering. And I'm just such a big fan, I ended up getting the trouser as well. If we're talking about categories, I would say my blazer collection is probably my favorite. I genuinely love every single one of my blazers, and I do actually wear all of them. The next question is to show my blazer collection. 4 out of 8 of my blazers are plaid blazers, which is a lot, but also not that surprising because I do gravitate towards a plaid. This one has an oversized shape and it also has a little bit of padding through the shoulders, which gives it a very kind of strong shoulder look. I actually brought this blazer to my tailor and she helped me shorten the length of the body so it just sits a little bit higher than the original length. This blazer is from Isabel Marant, that one was from Isabel Marant Etoile, and they're very similar in style. This one definitely runs a little bit shorter, so I didn't have to adjust the length. And it obviously is a brighter color with the red and purple running throughout. This is one of my oldest and most worn blazers. This is a Sandro plaid blazer. I got this in Spain and I remember getting it for a really good price. It was probably about 30% of the original price, and I've just worn this constantly since I've had it. The last plaid blazer here is a very statement blazer, and this one is a sale find from Tibi. It's got a drop shoulder, it's got these silver studs, and then also silver kind of buttons, which makes this incredibly statement and dramatic. I don't feel like I wear this blazer as much as the other three blazers, but I do love it just as much, because I just think it's such a cool and unique piece. These are my 4 non-plaid blazers, and the first one is the Suzanne Christie blazer in this light cream or yellow color. This is such a beautiful blazer because I love the way that it drapes. It has a very classic fit, and I'm wearing the US too, and I haven't had the sleeves or the body shorten at all. It's long line but not too dramatic, and I just find this to be a really good all-rounder blazer. This is another Tibi blazer that I purchased in the sales, and I just think that this is a really good layering piece. I love to wear it between my coat and my knit for a little bit of additional texture. It's a really fun blazer with a very beautiful pattern running through the material. These are my 2 darker blazers. This one is from Uniqlo in the J+ collaboration. Even though this is a wool blazer, it's incredibly light, which means I pretty much only wear this in summer. This is my navy Tibi blazer. I pretty much wear this one year round, except for the warmest months of summer where I probably reach for this one instead. The next question is, how big is your wardrobe? And I feel like a lot of you wanted to know the exact number. If we count all the clothes that's hung up, as well as all of my knitwear folded in the bottom, I have 87 items of clothing, not including loungewear and PJs. However, this 87 number I think is not really the true number of how many clothes I own, because I currently have about 15 pieces of clothing at my mum's place. This is just so that when I go to her place, I have a range of things to choose from, and I don't really have to move clothes back and forth. I go over quite often the weekend, so it just made sense to put some clothes over there. The 87 also doesn't include some coats that I have in storage, so I usually tuck it away until I want to wear it. I roll my eyes at myself, but I have about 5 more coats that are in storage, which I'm not currently wearing. Beyond that, I also have something like 15 items of workwear, so my more formal suits and skirts and pants, I currently have tucked away. I haven't been to an office in honestly 2 years, so I have all of that for the future in case it comes back into use. That pretty much brings the number to 122, which is a huge amount of clothes. And this is where I want to go through the fact that this is not your regular wardrobe. This is really the wardrobe of someone who makes fashion content and puts together 30 outfits for a weekly video. If I was to wear 7 outfits a week, my wardrobe would absolutely not look like this. My wardrobe also goes through a lot more movement than the average wardrobe. So whenever I get too many new in things, I definitely also do a declutter. And it's not that I don't like the things I declutter anymore, it's really just for space and to make sure that everything is not too cluttered. I want to explain that just so you know how my wardrobe works, and to also make the point that you shouldn't really be benchmarking things to my wardrobe, because this is obviously not a regular what I wear wardrobe. Final thing is that this is all of my wardrobe from summer to winter, and I usually don't put anything into storage. I brought out my clothing rack because the next question I want to answer is, what are timeless pieces for any wardrobe? I genuinely feel that basics are so incredibly personal, and it really depends on personal style, lifestyle, preferences, etc, etc. But this is a little edit of what I consider my own basics. If I was starting my wardrobe from scratch, these are all the pieces that I would start with. Now, there's quite a few, so I'm just gonna go through everything really quickly. I'm gonna start with knitwear because they're not on hangers and I'm worried I'll forget it otherwise. The first essential I would get is a striped top. It doesn't matter to me if it's a t-shirt or a knit. I just feel like a stripe is so incredibly versatile and one of my favorite things to wear. Navy has become one of my favorite colors to wear, and I would definitely recommend a navy knit. and something in a fairly simple design. Moving on to tops, my picks would include these two. This is the white linen shirt, and I don't really feel like anyone needs convincing how versatile a white linen shirt can be. A personal favorite of mine is the feminine white blouse, and this one was from Cedar about 4 or 5 years ago. I have two blazer essentials. I would choose a plaid blazer and then an oversized blazer. A plaid blazer I think is great because it can be easily dressed up for work, and then you can wear it with jeans and wear it really casually as well. This staple of mine is not going to be for everyone, but as someone who loves oversized, an oversized blazer is just something I constantly reach for. This jacket here has fast become one of my staples just because this is the exact opposite of an oversized blazer. It's very timeless, very fitted, it has a more elegant and formal look compared to the oversized blazer, and it's just really great for creating outfits with a different vibe. This also fits really nicely into a coat because it's not too thick and not too substantial. A nice light to medium weight coat is another staple of mine, and it can be this one, it can be my brown mango one. These two are actually very similar in that they're not too thick, they're very lightweight, so it's really easy and comfortable to wear. They have a drop shoulder so you can layer a lot, and it's also long so it keeps my legs relatively warm. When it comes to dresses, my only staple is a nice black dress, and a slip dress has been in my wardrobe for many years. This dress is super versatile because you can put it over a white t-shirt for a casual daytime look, you can put it over my knit for something for the transitional season, and then you can wear it alone for nighttime for a more elegant look. The fact that I've had this in my wardrobe and it's been a staple for many years, I think is also a good sign. For the bottoms, a definite staple of mine is a wide leg trouser. I have so many pairs of great wide leg trousers from Andover Stories, and they're probably my favorite place to get wide leg trousers. My preference for trousers is to look for a fabric that isn't too structured. Structured just means that it's more dramatic, and when a material is more fluid, it just feels a bit more easy to wear and every day. The other day, a friend asked me for denim recommendation, and immediately I just thought of the Levi ribcage jeans. I feel like these are very universally flattering, they're a nice straight leg, they're very comfortable to wear, and it's probably one of my first recommendations if you ask me about denim. I'm obviously a huge midi skirt person, so I do have 3 midi skirt recommendations to finish off the essentials. A white midi skirt for me is a summer staple. I wear this with everything in the summer, and it's just very timeless and classic. I love to add a little bit of print in my wardrobe, and one of the places I like to do that is actually in my midi skirts. This midi skirt I have, and it pairs really well with all of my white tops as well as all of my blue tops, because blue and orange are complementary colors, so this works really well in my wardrobe. We've got a white skirt and a printed skirt, so the last one I want to choose is a darker option. This is a blue long line skirt from Joseph. I find this skirt to be really flattering because it's got a side slit, and it's just also very easy to style, very comfortable to wear, so it's something that I reach for very often. Those are the basics I would choose out, and I'll have them all linked down below where available, but keep in mind that basics are so incredibly personal. It really does depend on style, lifestyle, so many factors to determine what is best for you. The next question is, what is the ratio between basic and statement pieces? So on this side of my wardrobe, there is a total of 39 pieces, and I consider 20 of them basics. With my trousers, skirts, and dresses, there are a total of 29 pieces, and 21 of them are basics. So you can kind of see that the majority of my bottoms are actually more basic, and then when it comes to tops, it's more of an even split. Of my knitwear folded up in the drawers, I've got a total of 19 pieces, and only 3 of them are statements. So almost all of my knitwear tend to be basic, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Since I've shown some of my favorite basics, I want to go through a couple of my favorite statement pieces. Anything that's not a straight up basic, I've put into my statements category. I've been loving my graphic t-shirts, and I would consider these statement pieces because they just make any basic outfit that much more interesting. Pieces like this are really a basic with a twist, but because of this really bright, fun turquoise color, this is more of a statement item in my wardrobe. I've got 2 printed pieces. This one just has a really pretty polka dot. This is from a few years back in a spring Cezanne collection. This is a recent top I purchased from Andover Stories, and I consider this one more of a statement just because of the way that it closes with these little ties. It's got 3 ties, the top and then 2 at the bottom. This is such a striking, vibrant shade of blue, and it's got quite a few details, so I would probably consider this a statement as well. On this side of my wardrobe, something that stands out to me is this yellow jumpsuit. This is definitely one of the most statement items I own. This is from Cezanne, and I recently featured it in a video, but really fun color. I don't own a jumpsuit, so definitely a statement piece. Right next to it, I've got this pattern skirt. This is a faux pattern skirt, and this is a really great evening piece for me. I don't have a lot of evening wear, but this is a fun night out kind of skirt. My favorite pair of statement trousers are these Filippa navy trousers. These are a structured cotton material, so they're incredibly wide-legged. They're definitely more of a statement pant compared to something that is made from a more fluid material, but I do love wearing these because they feel really chic. The last question I'm going to answer in today's video is garment care items and tips. I've never made a video on this area because I just don't feel like I have the expertise to share, but I guess I can share with you some of the products that I use. Something I do to keep my clothes feeling fresh inside my wardrobe is Cedar scented products. So whether we're talking about a wool and cashmere spray, this one's from the laundress, or if we're talking about cedar blocks and cedar rings you can put around your hanger, cedar scented products are great at keeping my wardrobe feeling fresh, and the cedar smell actually repels any moths. I usually have these blocks with a hanger hook and I put them in my wardrobe, but they haven't quite made it over to this apartment yet. I often say that when it comes to knitwear, I don't wash my knits a lot. I really just spot clean when needed, and then between wears I just let it air out a little bit, and then I spray some of this wool and cashmere spray. That usually applies to my medium to chunky knits, and then with the really light knits that I wear directly on my skin, I usually wash them every few wears, and then I just put it in a laundry bag, put it in the wash, 30 degrees. I don't put it in the dryer, and I always let it dry flat. I wash all of my clothes on 30 degrees and always with a gentle kind of spin cycle. Even now that I'm living in an apartment, I just pull out my drying rack and dry things in my living room, like smack bang in the middle of my living room, instead of using the dryer. I feel like dryers really damage clothing, so I try to not use it too often. A handy tool I have is one of these cashmere combs. I often get these for free with cashmere purchases, whether that's from Grana or the Curated, but I hold on to them and I just give my cashmere or my knitwear in general a quick brush anytime I notice there's a lot of pilling. I recently placed an order and I think I was like a few dollars away from free shipping. So I decided to add this wash and stain bar from the laundress to my cart. Now, I've used it a few times, it's just a bar, but I gotta say, I really think that this does a pretty good job at removing stains. I like that it is non-toxic and I don't feel like it's as strong as my usual kind of stain remover. It feels a lot more gentle and better to use, so I feel like this is something I'm going to keep in my laundry from now on. I probably won't use this all the time, but especially for more delicate things, I feel like this is quite nice. Since we're talking about clothing care, I thought I'll mention that I often also like to stain my clothes between wears just to give it a freshen up, and it just makes my clothing last longer before I throw it into the wash. The one I'm currently using is from Philips, and the only thing I'll mention is that it has a board, which I think is quite handy. Those were all the questions I'm going to answer for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like I finally settled into this place and I have a lot of content I'm super excited to film and share in the upcoming weeks. If you have any content requests, please let me know in the comments below. I really do go through and think about every single request I get, and it often shapes the videos that I make. I hope you guys have a lovely week ahead and I'll see you soon. Bye.